Next one, I use Local Viking to post one spun content item a day. I have a 45-day repeating calendar, heavy spin tax. Should I continue to do this or will I get better results via manual posting? You know, I don't know. There's, we do that. In the past, I would have said, yeah, just keep doing it because it's about activity. Well, I call those activity posts. They're not really all that great for SEO, but they're good just for like freshness factor, right? Posting regularly to your Google business profile. Google likes to see an active Google business profile, which posting can help with that. But I know that Google is more recently, like we have a series of templates that I had created for my writing team, my VAs, for publishing Google posts. So it's like, we've got a dozen, 15 or so kind of templates that are tokenized that we use for Google business posts. So they just go in and in a notepad or a text file, they go in and use the find and replace function to swap out the tokens with the appropriate keywords, brand name, location modifiers, etc. So, and we've been using those for 4 or 5 years, and they've been working great. More recently, like in the past month or two, probably 2 months now, we've been noticing more and more of those scheduled posts are being rejected. It's not really all that harmful, but what I mean is if you go into Google Business Dashboard and you go to the post section, we're seeing, 1 out of every 4 or 5 of those are now being rejected, which they were never rejected before. So why is that? Well, it could be a number of things. It could be Google is detecting that they're basically duplicated posts that have already been published on that profile before, or it could be the image. If it's a duplicated image, like, so for example, a lot of my clients, no matter how many times I try to get them to send me original photos, they just won't, which I don't understand, but help me help you, right? Help me help you. So all you got to do is snap a couple photos on the job and upload them to a shared Google Photos album. That's all we need. And we you just get in the habit, 2 or 3 photos on every job. You snap 2 or 3 photos every single job. We will always have an endless supply of unique images. But for whatever reason, I can only get 1 out of every 10 clients to do that. So we have limited amount of photos that we use over and over and over again for Google business posts. So is it the photos, the duplicated photos that are causing the rejections, or is it the content? Haven't really isolated it yet. I think it might be a combination of the two. So to get back to your question, as I used, for a long time, I would say, yeah, just, activity posts are important. I don't know that you need to do one once per day. I guess it depends on the industry. We just for activity posts just do 1 per week now for most stuff. Some clients are paying for 2 or 3 posts per week, and in which case we'll post 2 or 3 times per week. But we are now starting to do more and more kind of original posts as opposed to like an automated. I know that kind of sucks, but it is what it is to get better results. So we're using Article Forge can do okay because with a 250 word output with Article Forge, those can do fairly good for, like, it depends on the industry, but those work okay for Google business posts. Again, if you know what Article Forge is, you can try a 250 word output. You plug in your primary keyword and a couple of supporting keywords to clarify intent. For those of you that have used Article Forge, you know what I'm talking about. You have a primary keyword, and then you're supposed to add like 2 or 3 supporting keywords that clarify the intent of the original seed keyword. And then it will spit out 250-ish words of content that can be trimmed down a little bit. Generally, you're going to have to trim it down a little bit because there's going to be something in there that's not relevant or whatever that doesn't really make sense. Long story short, you end up with a fairly unique, decent Google business post that ranges between 200 to 225 words once it's been cleaned up, which is about the average, right? Google business posts can take up 1,500 words of text, 1,500 characters, which comes out to be roughly 200 to 225 words of content. So again, an Article Forge output of 250 words tends to work pretty good for Google business posts once you trim out the nonsensical shit that sometimes it spits out. You end up with around 200 to 225 words. So that works pretty good. Another method is Jasper. If you're using Jasper, I have a love-hate relationship with Jasper. There's no question, but they have a Google business post, which is, it's not really an SEO post. It's more promotional type, like output, but they have a recipe or whatever they call it, a template, a recipe, whatever you call it, that you can go in and select for Google business posts. And you put in the company name, brief description of what you want the post to be about, a keyword or two, and then boom, you hit go and it spits out pretty decent posts. They're fairly unique. They're more promotional than they are SEO type of content, but that's okay because again, for activity posts, it's not necessarily about the SEO value of the post as it is about just being active, publishing regularly, right? So, yeah. So again, back to the question: should you be doing this on a daily basis? I don't know if you're not. I would test with it. You know, I don't know that you need to do one every day. Again, it depends on the industry. In my case, in tree service stuff, that's way overkill. One a week is really all that's really needed. And we're doing more manual stuff now. Like I said, I've got a VA that has been using templates, but we're finding that the frequency that we're getting rejected posts is occurring more often now. So it's either an image issue or it's the content or a combination of both, right?